Hey everybody over at movies.com, it's the Schmoes No Movie Show. I'm Christian.
And I am Mark. Christian, this weekend in theaters you have McFarland USA, which stars Kevin Costner as a cross-country running coach.
Yeah, and he was a football coach at one point, and he got himself into trouble, got kicked out of the place he was in, and then he starts up at the school as a football coach, and then they go, nah, you're not really doing too well over here too. So he's like, all right, well, great, what am I going to do? And he starts running teams, people. There you go, you got a running team.
That's right, running is usually punishment for other sports. However, when you look at coaches in movie history, there's been so many good ones that are based on real people and ones that are totally fictional. So we threw them all in here for our top 5 movie coaches of all time.
All right, so there are times, and we try to go all over the place. There was boxing, there was hockey, there was baseball, there was basketball. There's so many different sports that we're going to choose from, so we're trying to mix up the list.
Our top 5 is a different sport, I believe, in every list. So I know that you have a soft spot in your heart for the number 5, so go ahead, introduce him.
You're a tank. Go through them. Run over them. Mickey Goldmill. Mickey took this palooka, you take Rocky, and what did he do with him? He made him the champion of the world. And
multiple times.
Yeah, well, no, he only did it once with him.
Well,
he
right.
died when he lost
Mickey
the title.
was actually 1 and 2. Was his career record with Rocky.
Well, yeah, it's true.
As far as fighting for the title. But look, Mickey is the reason why Rocky always thinks about Mickey. He is the Yoda or the Mr. Miyagi to other great coaches.
Well, what makes a good coach is not only just the actual game, it's about being able to talk to your team or your fighter. And the best example of this with Mickey Goldmill is the church scene in Rocky 2. When Rocky's upset about his wife, Mickey sits down, has a talk with him and says, you've got a shot to fight the champion of the world. He did it once, you shook him up, let's do it again. And what does he do? He does it.
So you've seen this movie once or twice?
A little more than that.
All right, so coming in at number 4 is going to be Coach Boone from
Remember the Titans.
Very good. Denzel Washington's iconic character. It was the late 60s or early, I think it was the late 60s actually, was when they were integrating schools, and so you had black kids playing along white kids, and how's that going to, well, you need a great coach to be able to steer everything clear and just focus on winning, and maybe we all learn something about ourselves and humanity in the process.
Very early role by Ryan Gosling as well.
Oh, he plays the quarterback, right?
I don't know if is he the quarterback or he's the
pretty boy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's got a great arm.
I want to try to quote this guy, but I can't do it without because he's got a curse in every one of his quotes. But he's so great. I'm talking about Lou Brown. Lou Brown is Lou Brown from Major League. This is one of my favorite sports movies of all time. And Lou Brown is absolutely one of my favorite coaches of all time. He was chosen to run this team into the ground. Basically, they said, just coach, this guy's working in an auto shop somewhere, get him. And he takes them to the playoffs, to Cleveland's first playoffs in God knows how long, and Lou Brown has such a great way about him. I love him.
He was hired as a lame duck coach, and he ended up being a source of inspiration, unlikely as it may seem, for the team, and it actually set the template for another crotchety baseball manager that just got left off this list, Tom Hanks as Jimmy Dugan, in A League of Their Own.
Yeah, and when you were managing people like Jake Taylor, played by
Tom Berenger. Don't you ever forget Mr. Berenger.
That's right. And then the Tiger Blood himself, Charlie Sheen as Ricky Vaughn. There's so many great characters, and Lou Brown had to manage all these people.
Yeah.
All right, so who do you got at number 2?
Number 2 is he is based in reality, and it was before the 3-point shot. But if you go back and you see Jimmy Chitwood hitting all those jumpers, there's a reason why he was on the team. There's a reason why this small school came together. Let's do it for all the small schools never had a chance to be here. I'm talking about Hoosiers. Gene Hackman, Coach Norman Dale.
And when you start to get into the performance of how great Gene Hackman is, it's still a shame that he's retired from acting, but you see what he brought as a coach, and just, like you said, what he did with these kids is incredible.
And the honorable mention should be his character in The Replacements, which is actually also based in a lot looser reality, but about the 1987 NFL strike.
Number 1, also based in reality, was Herb Brooks from Miracle. They beat those Russians, kids. That's what you got to know. They beat those Russians, and it was done. It was done first with a great speech that they still play in stadiums. And Vince Vaughn even ripped them off in one of the, I forget, the Ron Howard movie.
That's right. Yeah, I like your version of his speech better. They beat those Russians, kids.
No. I was telling them, I was like, they beat those Russians, kids, and why did they do it? Because of the speech. But that would have been a good speech too.
Miracle's great. Kurt Russell, fantastic actor, and his portrayal of Herb Brooks, again, it's one of the all-time most inspirational films you'll ever want to see. But Christian, we only need to do 5 movies on here. There's a lot of great coaches out there in movie history. Who were some that you really wanted to put on here?
I would have loved to have put on from the program Yeah,
Jimmy Caan.
James Caan, who played, I always mess up his name, what is it?
I think it's Coach Sam Winters, is that
Sam Winters, yeah, Coach Winters. And you had there's a certain scene, he turns it with his bow tie, next time we talk about the program, please go see it.
Okay, I absolutely will.
Who else would you have? Mr. Miyagi?
I would have Mr. Miyagi. I'd also have Emilio Estevez's character from the Mighty Ducks on there. And actually, when you're talking about hockey, how about the guy from Slapshot, too?
Oh,
so
good.
Look, there's a lot of good names out there, a lot of great coaches.
Al Pacino.
We can only do 5. Let's not bring up any given Sunday. But it was a great motivational speech.
Good coach.
So, Christian, you can check out McFarland USA this weekend in theaters. You can see Kevin Costner as a coach. The guys from Hot Tub Time Machine 2 do not have a coach. They just go back and forward in time. So that's kind of fun, too.
Or you can avoid the duff. Those are 3 movies that are out this week in the theater. Go check out. You make the choice. We're talking about our coaches. We don't want to coach you to do it. Go see it. Do what you got to do. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's go.